with all the talk about new business models, particularly the European Union is so fond of, we need new business models, everybody needs a new business model. We have a perfectly old business model, which is really quite effective, which is a cooperative business model. Now, I'm not a fundamentalist or a fanatic about cooperatives in the sense that if they're not adequate, then we shouldn't insist on them. If it's not a business form that actually fits with economic activity, there's no need to push that. But in many ways, it's an area that is unexplored for creating value for economic activity. And I think that that's very interesting, particularly in agriculture and the transformations that agriculture has to go through. Because agriculture cannot just be focused on production. There's a whole value chain there that we have to explore, and whether it's environmental goods or the social impacts that it has, etc., etc. And I think the point here is that when we talk about cooperatives, they're a business model, but they're also about creating economies that function for the people who live in those economies. Okay? So, as I said before, I'm not a fundamentalist in cooperatives, and I think it's really important that we understand, if we do choose that as a business model, how do we have well-functioning cooperatives? Because the worst thing is to impose a cooperative on people as an ideology, and then it doesn't work for the people that it's supposed to benefit. Okay? So, from our perspective, if we're dealing with cooperatives, we also want them to function as viable businesses. So, you'll be going into governance later on, you'll be looking at regulation, tax, etc. during the week. You'll be talking to various cooperatives and seeing how they function as businesses and what benefits they give to their members. We'll be talking to the financing side of cooperatives, which is always very, very important. Okay? And the role of cooperative finance in these ecosystems. Okay? So the nature of cooperatives, they're not top-down, they're not charitable entities, no? It's about understanding it as a strategy and business structure. Okay? So our Almeria case study is about a community that it was historically very poor, and Julian, our vice rector, mentioned that before, and now reasonably thriving, which is not to say that we don't have a lot of problems, and you will see those this week. Okay? So a lot of challenges that we have. And in fact, I think right now we are in an incredibly delicate and crucial moment. Okay? And we'll talk about that a little bit more later. Okay? So we want to talk about the interaction of the farmers, the agricultural cooperatives, and the credit cooperatives, and other institutions that have made this cooperative development happen. Okay? Very important in this is the cooperative role in generating innovation. Okay? This is precision greenhouse agriculture. So it's extremely dependent on technologies and innovation to be competitive. Now each of these little greenhouses is a farm. Okay? And that's basically what's owned by families. People often think of Almeria as this big plastic city, right? It's industrial. And they think, oh, it's a big corporation. No, 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 no. This little quilt is farmers. Family farms. Close to the sea. Now people wonder why in the world would you build these greenhouses so close to the sea? It could have been beautiful, natural air. Well, the reason for that was it was land at that time that nobody else wanted. It's the only land that the government was willing to sell to these poor, desperate farmers. Okay. Now we're inside the greenhouse. Here we are. This is a modern one. That's one of the main, had been one of the main crops. We're known for our tomatoes. We also have eggplants. And you're welcome to have all of these pictures, so don't worry. And this is where the cooperatives come in. Okay? The family farms are owned by, or the farms are owned by the families. The cooperative function is at the marketing and packaging and processing. Is that Coke Spal as well within their research department has one of the more knowledgeable people on biological pest control and protection. So we have Cahamar, we have Coexpa, and they have this large network of technicians. Every 2 weeks, there's a meeting of the technicians at Las Palmerias. At Las Palmerias, which you're going to tomorrow. So this is another level where the cooperative system develops knowledge systems and networks. So that you have your small network within the cooperative, but then you have the inter-cooperative network, which is promoted by the cooperative bank and the association. Why is that so much in their interest? Because it's always in their interest, particularly from the cooperative bank, that their farmers are doing well, because if the farmers do well, the bank does well, right? So this is this whole construction of the cooperative virtuous system. And it makes economic sense. It's not just some sort of flowery words. Right? By creating this network structure, and advisors are a crucial part of this, so we talk about all the other actors, but advisors are really crucial here, is that it's a way of acting collaboratively through the cooperative system to strengthen the technical and the production aspects.
CASI din La Canada, Almeria, este o cooperativă specializată în cultivarea roșiilor, care reprezintă 99% din producția sa. Cu cele 230.000 de tone după aproximativ 2160 de hectare, face ca aceasta să fie cea mai mare cooperativă de roșii din lume, angajând peste 1000 de lucrători. Este un echilibru prin combinarea unui model european de licitație cu marketingul direct. De fapt, 30% din operațiunile cooperativei sunt deja vânzări directe, iar acest procent este de așteptat să crească la 50% datorită noilor membri. Sala de licitații are o capacitate de 120 de cumpărători. Aceștia sunt plătiți la 7-10 zile de la vânzare. Marfa este adusă după amiaza sau seara, iar licitația începe la ora 9 dimineața, continuând până când întreaga producție este comercializată. Brokerii sunt plătiți de clienți, iar un broker poate să aibă până la 10 clienți. Clienții trebuie să prezinte o garanție bancară sau trebuie să aibă o asigurare specifică. Cu ajutorul aeroportului său, CASI lucrează acum pentru a extinde piețele și în Scandinavia, unde colaborează cu lanțurile de comerț cu amănuntul. Ele urmăresc de asemenea să se extindă și în Europa de Est.
Well, it is a long story. It's a long story, 75 years of story. But basically, on the 70s, 80s, we start to grow a lot quickly because the system of growing, greenhouses and things, come a lot of produce, right? And then the market start to open, you know, on the 90s, the east of Europe. So we start from France, and then the center of Europe, and then the east of Poland was very important for us on the 90s. And we grow the production, but the market grows in the same times. So we were lucky on this. We were lucky, and the 10% was the same.
And the owners of the cooperative are the growers, basically.
The members. Yes, they are the owners. Yeah.
So the growers are the owners, yeah? And you have the directive, I saw the presentation, the board direction. Who decided in time for this investment, to invest in the new deposits, to invest in cards? Who decide? Only the specialists or the growers?
Yeah, both. We've got the highest level of the direction is by growers. It's 10 growers that were voted by the other growers to be this direction. Then just behind is the main managing, you know, is the gerente is called. And then down the gerente, we've got 5 strong sales department, is the human department.
Vice directors.
Yeah. So the growers are on the top. The investments are decided by the general manager with the
Those 10?
Consejo Rector is called.
So with those 10.
Yeah, with those, and they fight them.
Yes, I understand, but not all the growers. Not like
Not
they,
all the
they,
growers.
they go together
All the
once per
growers,
year and
all the growers join twice per year, twice or 3 times per year.
And they can decide about what, is my question. That's, basically the 10 growers decide to invest and so on with the director, but what is the decisions the growers can make?
Well,
about what?
It's impossible that the whole Asamblea is called, they decide every day, it's impossible. But they join 2-3 times per year for a decision that these 10 people think, oh, I think this is better, that the general, they decided. But the day-by-day decision is taken.
But you have the system of dividends for the actionaries? You have that system.
You need to pay an amount to come into CASI, like grower, and this amount grow till you go out. You know, when you go out because you got your I don't know the word. The pension or retirement. You stop working, so you take your money, and your money used to go out normally.
But in the end, you receive it in the
By this moment,
annually.
No.
Kind of.
No. Normally it's by the end. This is the
I
decision.
saw cooperative with this annual dividends.
No, not dividends per year. The dividends per year come to the reservation, the capital, to grow.
You decide to invest.
To grow.
So you said your turnover figure is made of the 10%.
Yes,
So
basically.
actually what the transaction, you are an intermediary between the producer and the final customer. You don't invoice for the whole value of the product, just for the
No.
10%.
We invoice the whole production.
Okay.
And on the invoice, we take out 10% or we add to the customers.
The price is like,
Okay.
10%.
But
Now
this
we are-
doesn't go to your whole turnover figure.
Yes.
It goes or it doesn't?
Okay, we've got now the whole turnover
Yes.
is nearly to 200 million.
Euros.
Nearly.
This is the value of tomatoes.
The
that you
value,
sell.
the total value of tomato.
Okay.
Tomato and the inputs that we sell.
Okay. Okay.
And then we pay to the growers,
Okay.
we pay to the transport, we pay the lights, we pay the
The
investments.
salaries.
Okay.
And you remain with the profit, like what percent of profit you have in the end?
You need to look fine because I don't know. It's not high profit, right?
It's
It's
not
not
high,
high because we try to get the more price to the growers. So the highest season is in this moment, about January, February, March, and April, May. This is the high amount of growing. Okay. And we divide the work between 3 different centers. This is one. This is the main center. This is the auction center, and where we make about the 50% of the amount. What we do is selling the growers' production by auction. They pack it according to the standards of the European Union, the market, by size and by color, for example, and in different boxes. And we sell by auction. You will see inside. The other center, which is very important too, is the packaging center, where we sell not by auction, but we sell in the destiny prices. I don't know if you understand this concept, but this is a very technical warehouse in where we make the packaging according to the customer's orders. It's a very simple system, very old system. We've got some dealers, some brokers. They come every day, between 80 to 90 brokers, and they come about 9 because the auction starts at 9, more or less. And we fix a maximum price for one variety, for one reference tomato. And this price goes down in a wall by screen. And the broker who expect to pay these prices, they need to stop by a button. And we fix several prices for each variety. And then we choose the product outside. It's difficult to understand this process because early in the morning, the brokers come here, they have a look to the product, how it's packing, because what we do is the grower needs to pack in the high quality. Same color and same size and cleaning boxes. So the best quality is the best price normally. So when a broker stop price and pay the highest price, they choose the first. You understand this?
Yes.
So the rest of the brokers must wait to the rest prices. They wait the turn after the highest price. Right? Yes, they must buy the minimum is the block, one block of the grower. For example, if you are a grower and you've got some vine tomato on the size M, medium size, and you've got 200 kilos on this, and I want your product, I must buy 200 kilos.
All the product.
All the product on this reference from you. I cannot divide this. This is the minimum.
Yes.
Okay, the difference between auction and destiny prices is auction is the price here. You know? It's the price now, today. Right. And the destiny prices is when someone from Belgium called me and said, I would like one truck of a kind of tomato in a specific packaging. What is the price? Okay, the price for this in Belgium now is that price. So it's different system. Normally, when we sell by auction, we used to work with wholesalers. You know wholesalers?
E franco-furnizor și franco-beneficiar.
That's right.
Beneficiarul
And then,
sunt și...
when we sell in destiny prices, we used to work with supermarkets, right? Supermarkets do not like the auction because prices move a lot, so they need weekly or monthly prices. That's
The auction it's every day, including
the auction
Saturday,
is
Sunday.
from Tuesdays to Saturdays, not on Sundays. Sundays and Mondays, no. And we have two special days for auction, which is Tuesdays and Saturdays, where growers used to, they grow and they harvest and they pack on Mondays, and then we sell Tuesday. Wednesday is the day of auction, but the amount is less. Today, for example, in the warehouse for auction, we've got nearly 1 million kilos, which is very, very, very high. And then probably we have in the rest of the centers nearly 1 million kilos. So probably today we will sell 2 million kilos. One grower in Cassia has a medium size of hectares of 1.5. So one grower can have 3, 4, 5 hectares, and the other can have 1. So your amount is different than yours if you've got 10 hectares.
Yes.
You bring here and we sell to you. But if you join all the production of pine tomato on M size, you will find a lot of amount. So for the market, Cassia is very interesting because you can find enough production of one kind of tomato.
Who are the brokers? And who are the brokers?
What about this?
Who are?
Who? Well, the brokers normally are local people, you know? Local people that have contacts in the destiny markets in whole Europe. because Cassie in
And
this
it's their
moment
job. It's their job.
it's their job. Yes, they buy for the customers.
Big customers.
Yes, but the customers used to pay the commission, and Cassie pays a commission, of course, per kilo.
Are they the same each year?
They
or
are.
Who can pay?
They are, and we prefer they are the same every day.
The broker need to pay a kind of guarantee to the auction.
Not the brokers, but the customers. Customers need to show the guarantee, bank guarantee, or insurance guarantee, you know?
COISFAL, Asociația Organizațiilor de Producători, care reprezintă peste 70% din cultivatori și aproape 100% din cooperativele agricole, este esențială pentru comercializarea produselor și organizarea sectorului cooperativ. Pentru a sprijini cooperativele din Almeria, Asociația Organizațiilor de Producători COISFAL are un departament activ de resurse umane care oferă consiliere și servicii membrilor lor, inclusiv servicii de contractare a lucrătorilor din țara de origine, pentru a evita exploatarea imigranților. Este de asemenea responsabilă cu subvențiile, prevenirea riscurilor, tehnicile de producție și controlul bolilor, controlul calității, analize de laborator și investigații, administrare, formare, marketing și promovare internațională, cercetare și statistică, comunicare și asigurări. Cooperativele mai mari pot avea propriile departamente administrative, de comercializare, de marketing, de tehnologie, de depozitare, de formare, de calitate și resurse umane. Unul dintre serviciile bine organizate este sistemul de consiliere.
From a completely different perspective, these are the legal powers of farm advisors in the Spanish system. So all farm advisors, they have to be associated, they have to belong to a professional association of agricultural advisors, right? We have one here in Almeria, which is very powerful because the number of farm advisors in the region is very high compared to other areas. So these are the legal powers. So these agricultural advisors, they are the only professionals which are allowed to do advisory in integrated pest management, right? They also deal with safety and food quality issues, and also they are entitled to develop gardening and landscape projects, to do studies and reports, to do studies of viability of investments, reports on change of use, as probably happens in your country. If you shift the use of your land from arable or rain-fed agriculture to irrigated agriculture, you have to apply for it, and they may agree, or the administration has to authorize it. Okay? They are also deal with regional planning and environment. If I want to build a greenhouse or I want to build a water reservoir to irrigate my land, I need to develop a technical project, and farm advisors are the ones who do these kind of projects. They do assessments of damage in relation with the insurance system that we have here in Spain. They do measurements and topographic surveys. They do management of finance and insurance, and also they are involved with the operational risk prevention, right? So, as I told you before, the advisors must be registered in an official association. They have to follow the statutes and work according to the deontological code, which expresses good practices according to professional and ethics rules. They have to have civil liability insurance, and here in Almeria there are around 1,400 members. Probably you know the figure very well. There are around 32,000 hectares of greenhouses in Almeria. Of course, not all the farm advisors are busy only with greenhouses, but if you make a very simple calculation, that gives you a number of one advisor every 20 hectares of greenhouses.
This knowledge, let's say you have a new advisor. The advisor is hired based on his studies and experience, or the cooperatives have like a library of knowledge which advisor promote, like you have to learn all this to say to the people, or you based on what he knows. And the second, you put there the idea of insurance is like a malpractice. You give a better advice and something is wrong and it's covered by insurance.
Yeah. So first question, if somebody becomes an advisor following these university studies, if he hasn't been involved in a greenhouse since he was a child, he has to learn. He's professional, he has to learn a lot.
It's a lot like learning.
Yes, I thought about theory and practice, and
So,
the advisor
yeah,
has to have practice.
and of course every cooperative has its own style of doing things and its own way of building this relationship with the growers. Some of them they have more personal relationship, others are more distant from their associates, right? So is the technical team itself the one who educates the new advisors coming into the family, right?
Yes,
But-
they are
but
educated
exactly.
also.
Also, there is a possibility to jump from one. Advisors are, of course, free professionals, and they are free to change the cooperative they work for, or even change and jump to a supplier, work for a supplier, or the opposite. Right? And insurance, what I mean is that, for example, we had 4 months ago very severe floodings here in Almeria, after which something like several hundreds of hectares were destroyed.
By
Destructive of the greenhouses.
Right.
It was a
By the way,
huge, yeah, it was just massive storms and floods at the same time.
It never rains here, but when it rains,
So insurance is for the farmer, not for the advisor.
no, but the advisor is the one who has to do all the technical reports to apply for these funds to rebuild their greenhouses. Right?
I have a question. The representative of the input for the farmers can do some advice for farmers.
Yes.
By a representative, I don't know, semi-is representative or something like that.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, every supplier here, growers, they go to kind of, what do you say in mathematics? Warehouses. They buy the fertilizers and they buy the chemicals for the pesticide application, etc. And normally these warehouses, they have advisors on contract, and they provide advice to the customers. And sometimes this advice is in contradiction with the information they get from the cooperative advisor. So exactly, because their interest is completely different. So there is where trust comes in the game. So
Also, some of the suppliers are cooperatives. Suka is a big,
yeah.
you're right.
Horticultura sofisticată a Almeriei se datorează într-o măsură foarte importantă atât sprijinului tehnologic, cât și sfaturilor oferite de testele efectuate la stațiunea Las Palmerias în ultimele decenii, activitatea desfășurată în cadrul stațiunii, atât din punct de vedere al cercetării, cât și al transferurilor acestor cunoștințe, este structurată în 4 domenii principale, care sunt tehnologia cu efect de seră, biotehnologie, creșterea subtropicală a fructelor mediteraneene, agricultura și mediul. Centrul are o suprafață de 14 hectare și un total de 32 de sere, unele de doar 500 de metri pătrați, iar altele până la 2000 de metri pătrați, cu caracteristici diverse. Cahamar a conceput anual o structură de conferințe în care sunt prezentate toate informațiile și concluziile realizate de echipa de cercetători a centrului și în care cooperativele și companiile joacă un rol fundamental, deoarece acționează ca un vector pentru a ajunge direct la fermier. Clisol este un exemplu de microfirmă familială asociată cu SAT, adică Societatea Agricolă de Transformare, care este o formă hibridă cu caracteristici ale unei cooperative și ale unei societăți deținute de investitori. Clisol Agro este un bun exemplu de cooperare care combină cele trei elemente principale ale economiei din Almeria: agricultură, durabilitate și turism, cu scopul de a demistifica concepțiile greșite despre agricultura mediteraneană realizată sub mediul de plastic, prin organizarea de tururi ghidate care să explice aspectele tehnologice și de mediu ale facilităților sale. Clisol Agro face parte dintr-o familie cu o mare tradiție agricolă, prin combinarea a trei piloni economici importanți în Almeria: agricultura, turismul și mediul natural. Firma are două tipuri de producție, sere și o seră experimentală. Prin implicarea în agroturism, Clisol oferă vizite ghidate la diferite tipuri de sere în mai multe limbi: spaniolă, engleză, franceză și germană. Vizitatorii primesc informații și cunoștințe despre istoria agriculturii în Almeria, practici și tehnologii durabile aplicate. Clisol oferă de asemenea instruire altor producători agricoli și experți agricoli cu privire la cele mai recente inovații din sector și la exporturi, organizează de asemenea ateliere pentru copii pentru a-i ajuta să-și îmbunătățească cunoștințele despre agricultură și despre mediul natural.